How y'all doing? So, if anybody asks about the live streaming of this, then I may have messed it up. I tried to move us forward to a better system, and I think I broke something. So, Chris is trying to fix it. I'm going to stick with this. All right, so we were going to have it set up, so if you do tune in live, then we're trying to have it set up so it's not really going to show a picture of me, but it'll show a picture of the room, and then you can see the slides up front rather than just having them kind of fuzzy on the video, but we'll work on that here soon. All right, so where's Katie Watson? If y'all don't know Katie, we just stand up and say hello. I'm putting you on the spot, you didn't know his business. Everybody say thanks, Katie. So Katie helped set this vLearn platform up, which is really awesome. And so it is going to allow you to. I had several people say, "Hey, I'd love to be able to download the slides and take notes on. I did that on iPad, or just have access to all the stuff that you send out immediately, so that I can get right on it while I'm jazzed up at the sales meeting, and then not have to wait till the end of the day when I send out an update." So thank you, Katie, for setting us up and teaching us how to do this. So I'm going to go through really quickly how to do this. You've got instructions in your inbox. We're going to go through this a few more times, so if you don't get it, don't feel like you're missing something. It's okay. But so just real quick, why we're doing this: making the content easier to access, so it's not buried in your email. I know I send out a few things here and there via email, but it gives you also real-time access to the slides. So these are up on the vLearn platform now. So if you want to follow along and do this, you can. If you have a device that lets you take PDFs, you can take notes on that, and then after the meeting, it'll all be accessible in one place, rather than email here, email there, etc. And then once you're enrolled, you're in, you'll need to do this once. So, quick way to do it: you go to VRES-market or VRES-market, and then there's a little thing right here that says vLearn, and then you click on Sales Meeting. Once you do that, you then click on Sales Meetings over here. And then it asks you to buy the class. You're not really buying it, but that's what it says. And so you can just buy now, and then just like you do on any store, check out, place order. And then it'll say, congrats, you got it. So at this point, you don't need to go to the sales meeting link anymore. All you have to do is go to My Courses. And then it will show up there. So if you registered for any other courses, there are a few other courses on here. And you all may know about this system, I'm just learning about it, but there's where it says sales meetings, it'll say launch course. So you just do that. And then it'll take you to this page, and you can click on, it'll say May 7th, 2019. We've put some stuff up from the last ones. So a little bit afterwards, I'll put a little recap here. And then I have some links. I've got the slides linked here. I've got a new version of our Village seller listing presentation consultation package up there. Anybody go to that last night? All right. Here we go. I like it. Good work. So that's up there. I've got the calendar as well that we'll go over, just so it's all in one place. It just makes it a little bit easier to see rather than waiting in your email. Any questions on that? Cool. All right, we'll get going. Upcoming education. Who's got something they're thankful for today? Do that. What do you have?
Thankful for a transaction that seems to be coming back on the railroad tracks. It looked like it was going over the bridge last night.
Over the bridge, and now it's on the tracks.
I'm not driving the train.
You're not driving the train. Good. And you're not in front of the train. That's good. Good work, David. Who else has one? Anything you're thankful for?
I just love all the interesting people that I get to meet in this business.
All the interesting people you get to meet in this business. That's good. Anybody in particular, or is that hush hush? Just lots of interesting folks. Cool. What else are y'all learned before today?
I have a 33-year wedding anniversary.
33-year wedding anniversary. Bobby. Bobby just said that's a lot.
For me, it's a lot.
What is your what's the date today?
May 10th.
May 10th. All right, so May 10th. Good work. Anybody else? What do y'all have?
I went to Jimmy Carter's Sunday school class Sunday, and I got to meet Pete Buttigieg. And it's like, oh,
Wow, you went to Jimmy Carter's Sunday school class. Very cool. What else?
On Bobby's anniversary, my daughter will celebrate 5 years clean and sober. And
Wow, that's impressive. Well done. Oh my God. Very good. Anybody else? What do you got, Scott?
I got engaged.
Scott got engaged! Nice. Congratulations. Was it a maybe or a full-on yes? Or did she ask you?
No, I didn't. My kids asked her, so I didn't ask her.
Oh, there you go. Well done. Congratulations. That's good.
Can't say no to children.
I can't see no kids. You see no that? At least that guy got to get a ring and all that, right? Just like cute faces. Kidding. Anybody else? We got Phil?
Youngest daughter graduated from high school.
Youngest daughter graduated from high school. On her way to Chicago. That's great. Anybody else?
Mother's Day, Sunday.
Mother's Day Sunday. That's right. Good work.
Yay.
All right. Well, y'all take care, and we're done. I'm kidding. All right, Bobby, you want to come up and talk about education?
So we have an exciting month of May. We're going to have Collaborative tomorrow. If you haven't been to Collaborative, it is not for new agents, it's for all agents. And so it's like the AA for agents. It's a support group as well as just learning and keeping accountability with each other and on track. And it's become really, really special. After that, at 11, we do Pro Bowl. That's for agents who are considering hiring an administrative assistant or possibly a buyer's agent or showing specialist. We help you traverse through that process. So that's Wednesday. We've got orientation. If you have not been to Village Orientation, that is the 16th of May, and that is for anyone new to Village, not new to the business, but new to Village. And today we've got the 1031 exchange with Jenna. And that, if you don't know about 1031 exchanges, or you do know but not sure how to do them, Jenna will be here to do that. I think that's about it. We'll have next week, and we've got lots going. Don't you think?
I think so.
We had a fabulous Jumpstart class. We had the contest. I called it a contest. It was more like a test of writing a contract, and they did absolutely amazing. We've got some fabulous agents. Did you know? Great.
Beautiful Bobby. And University. All right, general announcements. Who's here for? Is Tyler here? Tyler.
Oh, I forgot something really important. I'm sorry. This is really good. On the 17th, we're doing a he said. I might do that with you and Zach one time, or you and what's the other guy? What's that other guy that you're? Aaron, yes, Aaron and Hunter. But this time, I'm sorry. This time we're going to do Tyler Graham and Lee Fun, the two brokers. And I've got some fabulous questions to begin. So that is Thursday the 17th at 10 a.m. So, no, it's not. It is Friday the 17th. Thanks, honey. 10? Is that good?
That is awesome.
Oh, good, because we had that already.
All right, Bobby. All right. Angela. Okay, so, well, first of all, Franklin Education. Angela, tell us what's going on.
We have some exciting classes in Franklin. We've been having RealTrex classes, and they've been very well attended, so please join us. Donna Johnson from RealTrex comes in and teaches the classes, and everyone is invited. So please come. This time she's doing it on prospecting and taxes. So please come on by if you want to learn more about that. And it's actually a great atmosphere. It's not like a regular RealTrex class. It's kind of more intimate. So you can kind of ask questions and It's just a great class. They've been very, very well attended. We also have a transgraphics class that Zach is coming to Franklin to teach. And do we know a time?
Well, we were gonna, I double booked, I'm sorry, so.
Talk to Zach.com.
So we're gonna, if you're open for the afternoon, we can do it at 1:30 or 2 on Wednesday.
Okay. What date?
Wednesday,
It's not on there.
I didn't put it on there because I wasn't sure we could do it, but basically next week, Wednesday.
Okay.
We went
Next
through it
week,
a lot.
Wednesday, transgraphics class in Franklin. Please come on by. We'll let you know on the time. It'll be on the calendar. Right now it says 11. That's not the time.
Thanks, Angela. Y'all come out to the Franklin office if you hadn't been. That would be a great chance to see it.
It's beautiful.
And yes, it is very beautiful. And speaking of beautiful springtime weather, we're going to have a little cookout after the He Said on Friday the 17th. So lunch, we're going to have a grill off, cook off. We'll have it judged. If you want to get in, David Doris has thrown down the gauntlet, breaking out the green egg, going to do overnight smoker kind of thing. So we'll have other food in case you didn't make enough for all of us. If you want to come in second place, talk to get on the list, and we'll have a kind of a potluck afternoon cookout heading into the weekend. And speaking of entertainment stuff, is someone from the East office here that wants to talk about dodgeball today? Kickball?
Totally different.
Similar. Totally different. Yeah. Kickball at the East office today, 3 to 5. Grilling provided. Everyone's invited. One thing that's not on here that you can mark down as well, May the 19th, that's a Sunday from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. If y'all remember the old 12 Oaks Motel in Berry Hill, kind of near Jersey Mike's? So, some awesome developers have bought that and redone it. And it's now called the Iris Motel. It's completely redone and gutted on the inside. The outside's been redone, and so there's a grand opening on Sunday, May 19th, from 3 to 7. Food, drinks, music, art. It'll be a really cool event, and y'all are all invited. Just show up, hang out, and check it out. And it's be a good place if you have people coming in town. Please refer them to stay there.
Hey, Hunter.
Yes.
Softball.
Oh, there's a dodgeball. 3 to 5, East office. One other announcement. Amanda Johnson, Amanda, you here? No, Amanda, but we got this just unsolicited. And I'm not going to read it word for word, but it was just awesome to get feedback from a real live client of Amanda's and just what a great job she did, and kind of highlight a couple of things that we could all be thinking about as we're serving our clients. So this client said, while we're experienced home buyers and sellers, Amanda's assistance through both the purchase of our new home and the sale of our existing home has been invaluable. She provided excellent feedback on what to fix and what to leave as is, and we probably saved about $10,000. She was always available by phone, day or night, and was very flexible when we wanted to do things our way. Yada, yada, yada. When a low offer came in, we rejected it, but Amanda kept working the lead based on the feedback from the other realtor, and in the end, we ended up selling to that buyer on great terms that fit what we wanted. And then she also gave a really generous donation to a nonprofit that was important to that client. So anyway, it's just full circle, digging in, being flexible, being available. Just thought it was a great example of what we're all striving to do, so I wanted to shout out to Amanda.
Franklin agent, probably.
Franklin agent, Amanda, probably screaming right now. So next, Zach, you want to talk about mortgage rates?
All right, rates have been, rates are 30-year fixed, have stayed in the last couple of weeks. It's at 4.25. An ARM is still more expensive than a 15-year fixed. That's insane. Do y'all have, who has clients that get 15-year fixed or have recently maybe? If they're not looking at that, have a look at that. There are a lot of benefits to it. I know it's a little bit more expensive monthly, but there are a lot of benefits to it. You get a lower rate, so it's not proportionally it's not as expensive, or not as more expensive. You know what I mean? And then the fact that it's lower than an ARM, it crosses over back here somewhere. That's just odd and really good. So check out that rates. What are rates? What's a 30-year fixed rate? What's a 15-year fixed rate? 3.875. All right. So 4 1/4, 3.875. So just memorize that for a little bit, so you can talk about it when people are doing when you're out buying. All right. Who is interested in doing a quick overview of the listing consultation package, the new one? You want to talk about it? All right. So I've worked with Bobby and several agents on this to create something that is just a little bit more updated and is something that I think is easy to go through. There's a lot of white space on here, so you can sit down and talk to clients with this. This is designed to have pages in here that if you don't need them, you don't have to use them. So don't feel like just because this is in here, it means that you can't use the whole thing. So it's designed for that. But talks a little bit about Village, our office. There's going to be a customizable piece on the market that you can put your little bio in if you'd like. And then talks about the Village Fund and what we do. And talks about some of our partners. So we're a full service real estate company. And then y'all used these circles before, right? If you've learned how to do a listing consultation from Bobby, you've used these circles. So factors influencing the sale, things that are influenced by the market, by the seller, and then by you, the agent. So then it goes through to talk about the process, a 5-step selling process. First thing we do is prepare, define your goals, and then we market, start the marketing plan, get it in the MLS. Then we put an offer, or hopefully we get an offer. But really, the whole goal here, in the second section, is to get what? Showings, right? You want showings. Because in order to sell it, you have to show it, right? So you got to show it to sell it. So our whole goal here is to get showings. And so that's what a lot of our marketing is designed to do. That's what our network is designed to do. And don't underestimate the network, y'all. Talk to a lot of people about this. Both the network in this room and then your greater network of agents. Find the agents that sell in the neighborhoods that you're listing a place in and go talk to them. Call them. Don't just send out a marketing email, but pick up the phone. It works. And then once we get an offer, it takes 30, 45, 60 days, somewhere in there to get to a closing table, typically. We have to get through an inspection, appraisal, etc., and then we close. So it makes it look easy, but then we dive into a little bit more detail. Oops. So this talks about, this really just looks at the last 2 years of when is the best. People ask, like, well, when's the best time to sell? Especially if you're meeting with somebody a lot of times in January or February, they're thinking about moving in the summer. When is the best time to sell? You can look historically and show them some actual data. We're going to start teaching this. I'm not going to teach it right now, but you'll be able to use that. If that overwhelms you, then pull it up. Some Village services. This gives you a whole slew of things that you can do. Some of this stuff says optional on here. And I would love that if we all did all the optional things, but I understand that some people don't. So if there's certain things that we need to customize on this, take a look at it and give us feedback. And we can, if we need to make a second page that fits your needs, we can do that. Talks about the importance of photography. I'm blown away at anyone who still, when I see a listing that still has cell phone photos of it. It is completely unacceptable in my opinion. We get paid well for what we do. There's no excuse for doing that. So it just shows an example. Again, showing is better than telling, so you can say, hey, we do professional photos, but show an example of what the same house looks like without a professional photography. I've even started calling it, I think we all use a lot of great photographers, professional photography. I started calling it architectural photography because I feel like that's what some of the photographers that I use, they are. I mean, it's really exquisite stuff. Visual media, who's used the Matterport tour in their listings? Anybody? I can tell you from experience, Scott and I have sold 2 listings sight unseen in the last year because of this, solely because of this. Spent like $300 on it. When I pull out my phone and show a seller what it looks like, it blows their mind. It's really a really great tool. So HouseLens does it. If you go to houselens.com or houselens.tv, it'll be one of those two. I think Showcase has done them now. One piece of advice: if you do them and you get a floor plan, do not rely on the square footage that is printed on the floor plan. This is a big problem that I don't know why they don't understand this problem, and it's the big company, not the local suppliers of it, but they will basically add up all of the inside dimensions of all the rooms that this camera calculates and put your square footage on there. Is that how you calculate square footage? No. How do you calculate square footage on a 10 by 10 box of a house? You measure from the outside. So the camera's only measuring from the inside. So just write it out digitally, or just get rid of it somehow, if you get that full time. Show some examples of some flyers, show some examples of some internet marketing. We can add some things to this if you have. I talked to a few people about this, and we ended up putting a lot of other companies on here because it seems obvious to us, but from a seller standpoint, that may not be obvious. And I think the sellers I've talked to that's not always obvious is when you list a village, we don't only put it on the village site and on the MLS and on RealTracs and on Realtor.com, but we actually push your listing out to every single other company's website as well. And when you say it like that, it's just a reminder that that happens automatically, but that's something we do. So we show that, especially if they're talking to any of these other companies, it just reminds them that, oh, I list a village over again on their site too. Targeted online promotion, what is that? Boost. That's right. Do you have to do anything to do that, to make that happen? No, you can't. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. How buyers find homes. This is from the NAR profile of home buyers and sellers that I sent out a couple weeks ago. All the stats say in that 87% of buyers find their home through their agent. So agents are important. Your network is important. Talk about your network. Talks about CSS. A great way to talk about this is just to talk through. It's not just a showing service. Our whole job after we put it on the market is to get what? Showings, right? What if I'm in an appointment with you, Mr. Seller? I'm not answering the phone, I'm not getting showings, but I don't want to miss any showings, so we outsource, we hire a company, and I can assure you Village pays a lot of money for CSS. It's not cheap. And we outsource a company to pay, to answer the phone and make sure that you don't miss any showings. They're available 24/7. Did you know that actually a person will pick up the phone if you call them at 2 a.m.? That's crazy, but they do. So talk about that in the course of that. Pricing of the property. When is the best activity? In your first couple of what? First couple of weeks. Why? Because that's when the ready, willing, and able buyers are out there. They've been waiting for something to come up on the market. They want something to come up on the market that fits their needs, and when it does, boom, they're going to pounce. And so they're going to look at that. If you're overpriced at that point in time, you might miss the mark, because the average list price to sell price ratio in Nashville is about what? About 97, 98%, somewhere in there. So if you're 10% overpriced, you're not in that 2 to 3 to 4% range. So you're way, way off. So this just shows a little graph that, if you're way overpriced, this little dotted line is the market value. And so you might be here for a month, and then you drop it, and you're here, and you drop it, and you're here. And finally, after 4 months, you're priced correctly. And a buyer comes along and they say, hey, looks like a pretty nice house. Looks like it's priced fairly. I wonder why nobody else has bought it. I wonder what's wrong with it. Wonder what's wrong with it, right? And everybody wants to do what everybody else is doing. Nobody wants to do what nobody else is doing. So when you have a buyer that is not comfortable being an outlier, nobody else has bought it, and they can see that it's reduced in price, but there's still that fear, then they say, all right, I'm not going to be a sucker. I'm going to buy this place, but I'm going to make sure I get a darn good deal. And so that's when the lowball offers come in. Has anybody ever done this? I have. Where you've overpriced a listing and then you sold it, and you know for a fact, or even worse, you sold it for less than the initial offer that you got on it. That's a painful moment. But it happens when you overprice a listing. The pricing triangle, price, condition, location. Buyers can only have the best of 2 of those. So if you have the best location and it's a stunning house, it's not going to be a good deal. So sellers, you cannot control your location. You can't pick up and move the house. So they can control the condition of the price. And the condition influences the price, right? I've got a slide that I'm working on about staging. And I don't have that in here yet, but we're gonna talk about staging a little bit, it's gonna give you the ability to talk about staging. Some interest rate trends, the 1% equals 10% rule of thumb. I think a lot of you all know that, but for every 1% change in mortgage rates, it can influence your borrowing power by about 10%. So if you have a $200,000 loan at 4%, call it roughly $1,000 a month principal and interest payments. If rates go up to 5% to keep that $1,000 a month payment, you now can no longer borrow $200,000. You can only borrow about $178,000. So it's just another way to say interest rates do influence prices. We have really low interest rates right now. If they go up and we're pushing the limits, we're going to have a problem. This just starts to kind of ease into your pricing discussion. We've gone through this before, but this is just the last 40 years, last 39 years of Nashville. And then a net sheet here. And then some FAQs showing your home preparing for inspection. These are just kind of some leave behind things. And then why choose Village? Well, and these are all accurate stats up to date. Village sold 20% more homes than the average agent in the market in the last year. Village listings sell an average of 13% faster. And last year, Village sold almost $1 billion worth of real estate. So make it about the team more than just about you. And then a real estate glossary. If you don't want to include this, you don't have to. But if you have somebody that likes details and wants to know what you're talking about, you can give them that.
Hey,
Yo.
I would love to give a round of applause that listing presentation is that and beautiful.
Bobby likes to listen to this. So thanks for that. Good work. Bobby spent a lot of time with me on that, so thank you. Boost update. All right, so Boost. We're going to talk about what Boost is again, but just a real quick reminder that Boost is a social media and online marketing platform for your listings. So when you put a listing on the market that's at least $200,000, and it's a single-family home or a condo, it will get promoted. Who has received an email from Boost or is logging into their dashboard to see that they've? All right, a lot of y'all have. Good. So we've had 102 campaigns, so 102 listings have been boosted. Sometimes we boosted a listing and y'all have boosted it again. There's been 211,400 total views of your listings. This is in the last 3 weeks. 6,626 clicks and 614 leads that have come through out of those new boosted listings. So again, follow up on those. If you're a heavy listing agent and you're getting these emails about leads, or you're logging into your dashboard and you're seeing that they're leads, if you log into the dashboard, you'll see in the top right, you can download that stuff. Send them to another agent and say, hey, work these for me and pay me a referral fee. Make it a win-win. The beauty of any good company is if you have great agents at the top, and by great, I guess I mean just like experienced, successful, really just churning through, there is going to be spillover. Without a doubt, there's going to be spillover. The busy people can oftentimes be too busy for their own good, and they can't do everything. And so then you have middle-of-the-road agents, and then you have new agents. There's a lot of harmony that can happen in that, and a really great company can, I think, ultimately has all three of those factors. And so, experienced agents, busy agents, if you're getting spillover, pass it off. Don't be afraid to do that, and let somebody else has time to work it. Work it. Y'all good with that? All right, so what is Boost again? Just a reminder, this is what it looks like. So it will say, it's a little hard to see, but this is a ad, and so it shows, check out this home that just hit the market. 5 beds, 5 baths in Nashville, and it'll show a picture of the house. It says Village Real Estate. It looks like it's coming from the Village Real Estate Facebook page. And that's what it looks like on Facebook. Instagram, check out this home that just hit the market. It's a 5 bed, 5 bath in Nashville. It will show up on Instagram. And again, their demographics or their algorithm will target basic demographics based on the location of the listing, the price of the listing. There's a lot of data out there that this system, that we all put out there, and that this system aggregates and will track and give you ultimately leads for it. And then display ads. This looks like, you know, if you go to any website and you see Google display ads. That will come up in there. So just know, and one just tip as a reminder, if you put a new listing in the market, within a few hours you're going to get an email saying, hey, this is about to go live. Make any changes you want now. And you can always make changes later, but it also says, want to get bonus points? Add your sellers in here. If you add your seller's email and or cell phone number, that's affiliated with a social media account and they log in anytime during that week, they should see it, which makes you look good. You.
Is there a way to add, like its database, something to that also, so just like Facebook ads, it'll also go to your sphere of influence, or is that too much?
There's not a way for them to be able to do that. You can do that on your own. And I'm not going to do that today, but I can teach you all how to do that. You can upload a custom audience to Facebook via your database. If you want to pull a list of realtors in your neighborhood that you're marketing and coming soon to, we can give you a list of agents, and you can push out that coming soon or that new listing or whatever it is to that group of agents, and just say, hey, this is coming to market soon. Be ready in a week. So that's possible. I can show you how to do that if you want. Does anybody do that? Should I teach a class on that?
Yes.
Okay. Can we talk about getting that done? Okay. It's not that hard to do. As an example, if you know Alex Brandaw at Keller Williams, he called me about a year ago and he goes, "Why won't you get off my Facebook page?" I was like, what do you mean? He goes, "Seriously, like get off." And he was joking, but he goes, "What are you doing? Like literally every time I'm on, I see one of your listings, and they're always on my page. Like, how are you doing that?" And I said, "Well, I spent about $20 and I uploaded a custom list, and it was a neighborhood that he was selling in, and he saw it a lot. So, great way to target people in a kind of where they are. So, we'll do a class on that. So that's a little bit different than Boost. It's what Boost does instead of them having an algorithm. It's you doing it. Any questions on that? All right. We're on this theme of listings. Who's got a listing now, or has had one yet, or has got one coming up in the next few months? Awesome. All right, so how to market them effectively. There's a lot of ways to do this, and I've been talking about this a lot, and so I just wanted to kind of run through this in case it's valuable. We have a huge opportunity to build momentum with our listings. What makes you want to buy something? Have you ever been on eBay? This is probably a lame example, but have you ever been on eBay? Right? And the clock is ticking down and you want something and there's a what? What is the clock doing when it stops? It's creating a deadline, right? And so it creates a sense of urgency. It creates a natural sense of urgency. And that deadline is arbitrary. The world's not going to end. The clock just stops, and whoever's in the winning bid gets it. Same thing with an auction scenario. It's a deadline. It creates urgency. So there's a lot of ways to create urgency, right? So I think the traditional way is we put the property in the MLS, and then we get an offer, and that offer has a deadline on it, right? And then we send a response, and that response has a deadline on it. That's kind of, in my opinion, the very, very, very basics. So think through kind of a model where you think of like concentric rings, right? And this is all getting ready to market a property. So in your shares, you have a sheet that shows a sample. This is just what we do, but a sample listing marketing plan, kind of 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week out, and then during the course of the listing. So the first ring, this is when and if you don't have one, there's probably some others around. The first ring is announcing things here, right? So announcing your peers. Hey, we're having a village sales meeting. We've got this thing is coming in the market in a couple weeks, and wanted to let you all know about it first. And you might tell them in the sales meeting, hey, thanks for showing up at the sales meeting. If you want to see it or learn more about it, let me know. I'm going to post it on the village Facebook page in 2 days. So then you got 2 days or 3 days or whatever your timeline is. And then maybe after that you say you've got some networking groups, some people call them breakfast clubs, and then you say, hey, in a few more days I'm going to send it out to my breakfast clubs on Thursday. And then you've got your neighborhood agents, right? So if you need to download that list, we can provide you with a list of top agents that sell in a particular zip code or area that you're working in that price range. And so you might call them or email them, ideally call them and just say, hey, I've got this thing coming soon. Would love to let you know about it, but I want to let you know about it before I put it on the Central Tennessee buyer Facebook coming soon page. I'm going to do that on Saturday. So if you have anybody, let me know before then. Right? Every stage, we're getting more and more urgency, and you're creating 2 or 3 day deadlines. And then, maybe after that, on the Coming Soon Facebook page, you say, hey, this is coming soon, it's coming in the MLS on Thursday, or Wednesday, or whatever, right? Let me know if you have anybody interested in it beforehand. And then at that point, you put it on the MLS. Are we done? Who likes to have an open house the first week it's on the MLS? Why? Because you know you're going to sell it at the open house?
I've tried to talk before.
Right. What does the open house sign do to a buyer that's walking in? It creates urgency. How many people have actually sold a house at an open house, a listing at an open house where somebody's walked in and said, I will buy it? I did it once in my career. It's pretty rare. Well, buyers think it happens all the time. And so we've all experienced it. You walk into a new listing, there's an open Sunday sign in the yard, and a buyer will say, gosh, we'd like it. Do you think we ought to do something before the open house on Sunday? Right? Because they're thinking it's that fear. Buyers have 3 main fears. They don't want to buy a broken house. They don't want to miss anything. And what's the third one? They don't want to pay too much, right? So they don't want to miss anything. They don't want to miss anything or miss out on anything. So help use that. Is this helpful as a way to kind of think through ways that you can really create a lot more impact with your listings and your sellers? And explain this to them. Show them. Draw circles. We left white space on those pages, so draw some circles and show them what you're doing. So I'm not going to go through all this in detail, but you have this in your sheet. It's also up on the vLearn platform. So if you go there, I will email it out also. But this is a sheet that you can look through to give you lots of ideas of ways to show your value. And again, show this to your sellers. You just read this for the first time. You thought it was pretty cool, so use it. Progress. Can we talk, Hunter? I've been talking a lot. Any questions on that?
Who here is thankful for Zach? So that's me. This is my He puts so much time into this stuff, and it's really helpful, legit stuff you can use to be a better agent and add value to your clients. So, thank you. All right, other stuff we've been working on. Open house pointer signs. We don't want those. Get the new ones. They're not expensive. If you need to order some, go to ordervillagesigns.com. If you have any questions about it, Ashley Brown's available for that. We had 38 open houses Sunday. That's a lot. So let's make sure we're getting that brand out there, being consistent. It's just really important to where we want to take the company. Sales meeting wise, this is something just that we're thinking about doing. Wanted to throw it out there for you guys to get some feedback. But we're thinking for June, maybe we start going to a first and third Tuesday of the week sales meeting. And then that would be Tuesday in Hillsborough Village. And then the following Wednesday, on the first Wednesday of the month, we would do a meeting in Franklin. And then the third Wednesday of the month, we do a meeting in East Nashville at that office there. So we go down to having 2 per month. There's a lot of content we can cover. Make sure we value this time and value your time coming in. So it'll also get us out in the other offices more often, which would be fun for us. So that's kind of our thinking on that. Questions?
No
Comments?
The second Wednesday and fourth Wednesday?
So that's a good question. And no. So we would use this a similar slide deck for the Wednesday following the Tuesday meeting. And so it'd just be a chance for a lot of our Franklin agents who are watching this online. It's not as great of an experience as in person, and so we want to make sure we can get that content in front of them. Same with the East office. So really, there'd be 2 weeks of content, and we would do 4 meetings a month. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So think about that. If you got any feedback or concern or anything, let us know. But we're targeting possibly rolling that out in June. So this month, our normal 3 first 3 Tuesdays of the month, just like normal. Question, you know?
So I see that, and just let me know, it seems like our V talks are going down as well. I value and like the training and meetings. I don't want to see them be reduced. But at the same time, I don't see a lot of the V talks anymore either. I know we have one today, but that seems to be, I don't want that to change either.
That's good feedback. Thank you. Anything else?
What's that, you all these people?
Yes. That's the goal.
Like they don't.
So I mentioned in one of my updates, we've got a goal to reduce paperwork. A lot of it is that you're being asked to turn in. It's kind of, somewhere along the line, someone's gotten sued for something. And so there's a new form that we got to get signed and done. And so we want to balance that need to protect you, protect the company with not overburdening you with paperwork that's not helpful to your client, slows down you getting paid, wastes your time. And so we've taken a fresh look at all the paperwork that's required to turn in with the closing. And our goal is to reduce that by about 20%. I think we're on track to do a little better than that. We've got one more round with our broker team to kind of go through it and make sure we've got it dialed in just right, but be on the lookout for that. We're really excited about just kind of minimizing the excess paperwork that you guys have to deal with and get your clients to sign off on. The front hedge landscaping. So who's been to West Haven in Franklin? Have you driven through there? So it's an interesting neighborhood. That houses there, really beautiful houses. But what's the one thing that's super dialed in at West Haven? The landscaping, right? It really makes a difference out there. And we want the same thing for our offices. Right now we've kind of got this huge hedge that surrounds the parking lot in the back, and it's kind of taken over in some areas. And it hides the building, and it's expensive to maintain. You gotta have scaffolding and ladders and stuff to keep it trimmed up. So we're gonna be shortening, I guess is the word, trimming up the hedge considerably just to get it down to a manageable level. You can see the building, and when you pull by, you can see if there's a parking space available for you. So I didn't want you to come in and be like, what are they doing? They're taking out the whole hedge. But not taking out the whole hedge, just a significant portion of the hedge. Just wanted to keep you guys in the loop. It's gonna look awesome. Yeah, there's some collisions almost in the parking lot because someone's wheeling around and can't see. So what have we been working on? It's important stuff, right? And then another thing, Village Fund. We mentioned Amanda earlier giving to her client. It's a really important part of who we are, Village, what you guys have been doing for the last 22 years. We got an awesome thank you from Thistle Farms, who was here a couple of weeks ago. Becca, you guys really turned out. We were able to write a check for about $2,500 to Thistle Farms, so it's a huge deal for them. They were so appreciative, and so I just wanted to thank you guys for all you're doing around the Village Fund. If you hadn't done it yet, it's real easy. There's a form. You can designate where you want the money to go. It comes from you. And you get the credit for it, but we're happy to come alongside. We'll do matching stuff at the end of the year out of the company's profits as a way to leverage the gifts you're already giving. And so, if you haven't had a chance to do that, Ashley or Colin in the broker area can help you out. Broker open announcements. Someone here to talk about SEGA? Or is that just There's a broker open Thursday, this Thursday, 11:30 to 1:30. Anybody? Anybody want to say anything about that? Just show up, be there.
Come on down, the townhomes are finished up and staged, it's finally ready to see.
So we'll have staged and finished townhomes ready to see. That's at 1402 Pillow Street, Liberty, Houston. All right, 30 seconds or less.
Any other broker opens?
We have one. Friday, May 17th, we're having the kickoff party for the This will be, the budget is insane. The developer's spending over 70 grand. We're having a crawfish boil. Burning Las Vegas will be there while the dance floor, 150-foot tent. You know, really knockout party. It will be unlike any broker open you've been to. So please come. Bring your significant other. It's Friday from 4 to 8. If you've got any clients that might be interested, bring them out to More the Merrier. So it's Friday, May 17th from 4 to 8.
Address, where is it?
The address is, yeah. So be prepared to party that Friday. The address is 610 21st Avenue North. We'll be sending out email reminders later this week.
Awesome. Any other broker opens before we get into the list? Sam, where'd you go? There you are.
Hi all, I have an awesome home in Laverne. Just on the others, or just getting into Rutherford County. This is a 3-2, it is on a beautiful corner lot with a great fenced-in backyard, so the lot itself is huge. 3-2 and a half, pretty great home, has a bonus room as well. Pretty secluded, especially to hide the kids if needed. We'll be around the 250 range and should be going live mid this week. Just had photos taken over the weekend, so since I get them, I can get them out to you if you need. I also have a couple new constructions coming. These are in the Buena Vista area on Pecan. Very similar, but slightly different floor plans. So we're getting them both staged and should be ready probably sometime next week. Beautiful concrete floors, both are fenced in as well. This new builder, they've probably done about 10 homes roughly, but they do a phenomenal job. So these two new construction are going to set out a little different than any others that you see. This is remotely close to Slim Huskies in the Buena Vista area. Robbie Stone.
The East Attic team got their stuff in. Like it.
So this is a 3-story townhome in Lennox Village. Obviously you've got the address and a ton of information there, but they just redid the flooring. It's a nice, tasteful laminate flooring throughout on all 3 levels. They painted throughout a nice neutral gray. The entire unit has been painted. It does face a nice little wooded creek area. No sort of flood issues, so don't worry about that. But it just provides a good private feel. It doesn't have a garage, but it does have a parking pad in the back with 2 spots designated for the unit, and then a little fenced-in patio area off that main level bonus room, which is really nice. Still debating on price, but it'll be at or under $265.
There's a few more.
Few more, here's one.
Talking about what these are.
Shane? So I've got a new listing built in 2016 on Elliott, 2421 Elliott. It is, we had pictures taken yesterday. I'm going to list it later today. We're going to have an open house on Saturday. Oh, there it is. Okay. 3, 2.5, freshly painted inside, and then a screen in the back porch, and it has a 1-car garage. So it's an detached HPR with a 1-car garage and a second parking pad. It stands out because the screened-in porch, the neighbors don't have that, and they spend quite a bit, like 20 grand on it. So we're going to list later today, open house on Saturday, and you may have seen this. 2421 Elliott was on the market for about 30 days. The agent called me and just said, I'm not getting it done. My clients, I'm just passing it off to you. So I talked them into a significant price reduction. So if you've already seen it, it was at $650. They agreed to list at $629.9, and I think there's even some room in that.
What year is it available?
On Beechwood, just around the corner from the office, we've got one coming up. It was built in 2005, but it looks like it's been there all this time. It's a 4-square, lots of upgrades. It's about 4,000 square feet, 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. Probably going on later next week and doing some staging and getting pictures this week. But if you've got anyone who would like to see it beforehand, just let me know.
521 in Shelby Hills. It's currently an owner-occupied B&B. 880 square foot in the main level. An additional 501 square feet with a full kitchenette, bedroom, and a full bath in the basement. The current owner makes about $2,600 to $3,200 a month B&B in it. The basement and the mudroom have a private entrance, so he can have two different B&B guests at once. Goes live Monday.
I have a 1-bedroom, 1 bath coming at Park at Melrose Heights either today, later today, or tomorrow. 675 square feet. It's in the gated side off of Knowles Road behind Casa Azafran. And it was built in 2014, so everything's relatively new-ish. 9-foot ceilings, washer and dryer included, granite, balcony, pool, fitness center, clubhouse. You guys can read all of this. 195 is where we're going to go in.
I have a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo in Harrison Square. So if you have someone who is looking to be downtown under $300,000, it's a great opportunity. 1,100 square feet, and it'll go live in a couple weeks.
We've officially made a change. We're now boosting listings above 195, so we can get names in there. And so you can price your listings like 199 or 195. So who else? Scott.
Hey, we got 4 new construction properties that were taken over from another brokerage. So 2 of the properties have been finished for a while, the other 2 have not been finished, but when I take them over and the village takes them over, they'll all be done. So we're going to do a grand launch of these 4 properties in a row on Riverside. And there's all the stuff. So the builder is great. She pays attention to every detail. She's on site every single day to check in. Custom homes, each one is unique. So 515 range-ish, probably, like I said, something like that. So 2 weeks from now or so, hit me up with questions.
Awesome. Anybody else? Before we wrap it up? Oh.
I've got 2 short-term rentals. They're prime. They are fully furnished, both of them, in City Heights, 532, 534, 28th Avenue North. And so, I mean, bring it. 4-bedroom, 4-bath, rooftop, downtown view, 2-car garages, 2 sets washer and dryers, awesome appliance package. Bill Nash will do the build, and they did it really, really nice. So that's coming next week. So.
What's the price?
$789. Okay.
Thank you.
Hunter?
David?
I've got one coming in Riverwalk, which is the Newsom Station area. It's 1345 West Dale. It was built in 2009, so it's in the back of the neighborhood, newer section away from the power lines. Really cool community with riverside amenities, great pool set up. That one is going to be hitting the market later this week. I want to give you a jump start on it. Everything that's come on the market there in the last couple of months has gone in multiple offers and sold quickly. So if you got a Bellevue buyer under 320, let me know.
Awesome. Anybody else? Good stuff. A lot going on. Zach, let you land the plane here.
All right, real quick, a nice shout out to Mary Frances Ruby for bringing breakfast this morning. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I'm real happy to see my prodigal sons back at Village. So this felt really good today to come in and see these old faces back again here. But I have a request. My precious little receptionist at 21st, Katie, wants to try some new skills at Ruby Title and move up to the 2nd floor, which means I need her replacement. So help me think of someone that you might know that would be a good fit for our, it's a receptionist position, but she does so much more than just being a receptionist. So if you know anybody, send it to info@rubytitle.com. Thanks.
Awesome. All right, right after this, in 15 minutes, we're going to start a 1031 exchanges classes, and then you guys will be sharing this. It's at 11. It's at 11. Get your chair massage in. So, alright, so the chair massages are in that corner over there. Alright, they're $20 for about 20 minutes. If you have a few extra bucks, please do. Alright, real quick, last thing, what are your takeaways? Are y'all making weird jokes out there? Was that awkward? I shouldn't have done a little DJ voice for that. These are just chair massages, people. Alright. Takeaways. What are interest rates right now? 30-year fixed. 4.25. What are 15-year fixed? Alright. How many sense of urgency rings can you do? A lot. Alright. Who's gonna look through and try to use and give me feedback on the new village consultation package, solar consultation package? Alright. Where do you find all this stuff? VRS Market and then VLearn. Good. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful day.